All right, so I'm gonna try and get this Buick running. Got to tidy up around here so I can get the mercury out and get it over here on the lift, which is behind you guys. And I'm gonna try my darndest to get this thing running. That's the goal. So let's see if we can do it, get it up and running and have something to drive. But in the meantime, I gotta tidy up. So, man, I should have filled up my coffee. So we got the mercury moved back in work zone area to work on it. So I'll be back on that, don't worry. For now, I'm gonna try and monkey around with this thing and just see if we can get it running. So let's play around with that. So when I bought this car, you know, one of those things you get kind of caught up in looking at different things and maybe not really paying attention, and I was focused more on what the body looked like and everything. Turns out it had no drive shaft, and I don't know. I mean, it's just one of those things I guess I just never paid attention to. It's got the yoke and the tranny. So I picked up a drive shaft. I originally was going to just pull this motor out and I was gonna go 455 route. I picked up a 455 for it, but I didn't know anything about the 455. So after looking at parts and whatnot, I mean, they're pretty expensive to build these days if you want to build a good one. The one that I had was a 75 or 76, so pretty low compression on the motor, so lower horsepower, still gobs of torque. But I would have had to change the heads on it. Anyways, so got rid of that with I had a Buick GS parts car and that all went. So I picked up a drive shaft. The one that I picked up was for a big block car, Pontiac actually. So I was assuming that it would be the same length, so we're going to find out. And if that yoke is there, that goes in there. Oh, pull that out. Put that back. Might be a little short. Okay. Anyways, I can always buy a longer yoke for the end. This is the big block, or the 400 turbo 400 yoke. This just has a turbo 350, but the yoke's in it, so I can swap the yoke over. Maybe I'll just buy a longer yoke instead of having to go and. I mean, it's only off by an inch, so we'll see. But that's okay. So that's good. I wanted to check that before I brought it down. So. I'm gonna get the car down and start monkeying around with this thing. So let's just do a bit of a refresher here. This is a 1970 Buick Skylark. It's a Buick 350, so nothing special, nothing crazy. A couple spots on the frame I got to fix up. I mean, there's some Bondo in the fenders and stuff, but other than that, it's a pretty nice car. I mean, I love this. Like, really? Come on. I mean, it's crazy. So, and for some reason it's got like clear coat or overspray or something all over the car. But I don't know what's on it. Like, you can see, I'll bring you in so you can see what's going on, but I just... All right. Okay, so there's some weird clear coat or something, overspray, something all over the car. It's all over the trim, it's all over the vinyl top, it's all over the window, it's all over everywhere. So I started polishing it up, and I'll do another video on doing that. You can see where I stopped, and it's kind of funky, and you can see like a rope or something was lying over the car, and it's not on that spot. It's really, really strange. I don't know what it is, but anyways, it makes the paint look awful. But once you clean it off, I mean, it's dusty now because it's been sitting there for a while, but once you clean it off, it's not bad. I mean, it'll shine up and be somewhat presentable for all I care. I mean, our plan is to paint this car in probably black, but anyways, we'll see. But I'm gonna clean that up. So I thought that was interesting about the car. Buick 350, turbo 350 transmission. Everything seems to be there on the motor for what I need. The power steering pump isn't, but I've got a power steering pump. Hopefully that'll work. In the car, there was no interior in the car at all, so I picked up a back seat. Actually, same fellow I got the drive shaft from, I got the back seat from. And that Buick GS I had bought literally just for these seats. The guy said, take the whole car, so took the whole car, and I've got bucket seats. I've got covers coming for them, but of course, like everything, they're back ordered. Covers for the front seats and back seats. She wants white interior in this car because, again, this is for my wife. So it's got a center console. I've got the shifter, the correct 70 shifter as well. The dash is nice. This was originally a column shift car, so I also picked up out of that GS, I got a console shift, so no column shift in the wheel. So I got to put that in there. Nice color matched wheel for this, and then of course she decided she want white interior, but anyways, that should be okay because I don't think I'm going to change the dash color. I think we'll do white, everything else, and then leave the dash that brown or tan or whatever it is, and it should look okay. But if it doesn't, we'll change it, no big deal. So that's what the car is. So I've got a GS style grill. It's kind of cracked and whatever, so it's not really worth a whole lot, but that's okay. I'll fix it up. I can probably fix up some of these cracks and just smooth that all out better than someone else tried, and so that'll look nice in there. Someone at some point painted the headlight buckets, and on some of these cars, I mean, I know quite a bit about the Buicks because I've followed them for years. You know, I had a 71 when I was in high school, Skylark, and so I know a bit about them, but I don't know. I see some that are painted and some that aren't, and I don't know the difference, why some are painted and some aren't painted. Anyways, I will just leave them like that for now. I mean, this rad support has got some holes and stuff in it, so it's not a perfect car. It's a driver, and that's all we want, right? I won't feel bad if we scratch it or whatever, so get bugs and stuff on it. So the plan is just to drive it. So I'm going to try and get this darn 350 running. So the first thing I got to do is I'm going to pull those valve covers off, because when it's cranking over, you can hear a gallop, a hitch, and it's giddy up. So I'm assuming by the way that it cranks over and then locks up, I think it's an exhaust valve is stuck, which makes sense when these things sit, you know, critters or moisture, whatever gets up in that exhaust valve, because it like builds compression and then doesn't want to crank. So I thought it was the starter. I rebuilt the starter, I did a video on that. So I pulled the starter all apart and just cleaned it up. You know, budget rebuild, right? Threw it back on and same thing, so it's not the starter. So we're gonna get at this. All right, so I'm also assuming that it's probably on this side, I think, but anyways, wrong size. We'll start there and move on. Okay. Yuck. That is from not changing the oil. Just so you know. People, maintenance, maintenance, maintenance. Okay. So. Oh, look at this. Ooh. Huh. Did I ever pull the dipstick and check the oil on this thing? I think this has had water in it. When I went to go look at it from Buddy, it was sitting there with no hood on it like this, so I assumed he hadn't left it with the carburetor open like that, but you never know. Let's no, oil looks all right. Doesn't even smell like it's got a whole lot of gas in it, which is surprising. Come on, get in there. Let's go. Down in the hole. Come on. One more. Come on, you just came out. Oh, for Pete's sake. What the heck? It literally, you saw it come out. I don't care. Come on. Yo. Oh, this one's been goobered. Oh yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh. That's not good. Uh-oh. Look at all this gray stuff all over everything. Huh. I don't know. They all spin except for spins. That one doesn't spin. That one spins. That one spins. That one's no spin. All right, let's hook up a battery and just see what we got going on here. Forgot I wanted to pull the spark plugs. Oh, see? Okay, people, this spark plug socket doesn't have the rubber in it. And I just broke that spark plug. Oh, bummer. I'm gonna break all of them probably. Yep. Broke. Let's stop doing that and find one with the rubber. There. All right, let's crank this over and see what's going on here. Ooh, stuff's flying. The heck was that? Something just went shooting on the other side. Huh. Sure, I just saw something. Oh, maybe it was just this. That's what I saw. Yeah. So this one's doing its thing. No, see, that one's not moving. That one's loose. Well. So that lifter is no good. Oh, I don't to do the thing. Man, oh man. So if this was a small block Chevy, I mean, you could try and crank those lifters down to, you know, build that distance up there, right? But on this thing, I can't do that. So I wonder if it's just, these motors are notoriously bad for oil pressure. In my 71, actually, it had low oil pressure. And I wonder if that's a problem. Maybe we just don't have enough oil or something. Like you know what? I don't see any oil coming up here. So I wonder if I've been cranking and cranking and cranking on this thing and we got no oil pressure. Well, that'd be a bummer. Never checked that. I checked the oil and said, yeah, there's oil in it. All right, so here's where we're at. Got the dipstick all the way in, and in my haste, didn't look at the actual operating range on the dipstick. I just saw that there was oil in there and went ahead and thought there was oil in there. Turns out no. So what, I'm gonna add some oil and try to prime it with my oil pump primer here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add this right down into the, oh, maybe I should get a phone. Right down in the snout. But let's just see if we can get the juices squirting out of this. So, oh, my drill, hang on. Oh, now we're building oil pressure. There we go. Once I felt the drill kick, oh, and I can hear it. Oh, yeah, I think so. Because those were loose before, weren't they? Well, that one's still a little loose. That one's, look at that. Oh yeah, look at. I can't push those down now, okay. Keep going. Well, I don't. Okay, because it might be low again. Okay, let's add some more oil. Ooh. Okay, where's my stuff? Let's add some more oil. Right down the yak. Okay. 462 hours later. Now let's see what happens. Perfectly balanced, as you can see. I can hear oil running somewhere. Maybe I'm just not building pressure because this isn't solid. Come on. But I'm not squirting any out here. Am I just squirting it all over the floor or what? No. Ah, it's definitely pumping water. All right, come out of there now, you bugger. Okay. Oh, now we got lots of stuff. Okay, those ones aren't. This one's not spinning, and that one's not spinning. So the only one that's not happy is this one here. And I'm wondering, is the valve stuck? Yeah, that valve is stuck. Listen. So this one here, I can hear it go gunk gunk. That one's solid. Alright. That's why that one's not spinning. So all the rest of them, I think, are good. I can't remember. But I saw it. Yeah, so that one's definitely stuck. Let's just try putting some penetrating to it, and maybe I'll fill that cylinder up with some stuff and see what happens. All right, so I just got a bit of a concoction mixed up here. A little bit of engine oil, some ATF or tranny fluid, and some penetrating fluid, and just going to try and put that in the cylinder here. I'll spill it all over the place. It's all right. Squirt some up in and around here, and just see if we can get it into that valve there. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is just bump that over, make a mess. I'll hold the rag over it. Oh, that just hopefully shot that up in there. I'm going to do it one more time. Try and shoot this stuff up in the top of that. Oh, goodness. Okay. So I'm just going to let that sit now and go have some lunch, come back and try and free that up. Okay, so here's where we're at. Rocker shaft is off, and this valve is still stuck, which is the intake. And putting the stuff up underneath isn't going to do any good. I have to get in there, in the intake. And of course it's this one, so I don't think even if I took the carburetor off and, I mean, I guess I could try and fish a hose in there to try and get some penetrating fluid in, but so the reason why the rocker shaft is off too is because, of course, this push rod's bent. And who knows if I did this or it was happened before, but I'm going to assume that push rod's probably been bent for a while. And yeah. So now I'm just trying to decide what to do here with this motor at the moment. So bear with me and I'll be back with you shortly. Well, here's where we're at. As you can tell, it's coming out. Yeah, so bent valve, stuck, or bent push rod, stuck valve. I mean, who knows what else the heck was that? Crazy bump. Anyways, yeah, I'm not going to go any further with this, spend any more time or money on it. So far, all I know is a little bit of oil, and yeah, I bought some valve covers, gaskets, but they were cheap. I think they were like $5 or $10. I don't know, they were cheap. They were on clearance. It's coming out because guess what? I mean, I've got another motor. I've got a 350 Chevy for it. Yeah, I know. Sorry, all the purists, but anyways, that's what's going in here because that's what I've got, and it's my car, and that's what I want to do, and it'll make it run and drive and enjoy the car. So anyways, the one good thing about this too is I know that Chevy motor is good, but the other thing is the floor pan, someone replaced it in here. They did an okay job, but they didn't paint it afterwards, so it's gotten all rusty. So anyways, I'll be able to now paint the full floor underneath and get that looking nice, and then we'll throw the 350 in it. So let's get going on this. So for those of you that don't know or haven't seen some of the other videos, this is the motor that I'm going to now put in the Buick. This is the small block Chevy. It's a 355, so it's 30 over. It's a 300 horse Corvette motor, Chevelle, something like that. 300 horse heads, 300 horse motor, 1969 block. It is a 4-bolt main, so that's a really good motor, and I think it's in and around the 350 to 400 range for horsepower, because it was in the Malibu and it was really cool. It was pretty quick. So that's what's going to go behind it there. That transmission is a 700R4, so it's going to get 4-speed. So now this car will be 355 Chevy, 4-speed, and yeah, it'll be a pretty fun car to rip around. So you can see they did sort of a poor job getting this all lined up, but anyways, it'll be good enough. And I'll just fill some of this stuff up with some seam sealer. I mean, the floor is strong. It's tacked in there pretty good. I'll make sure on the top side after I get this all fixed up. But first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go across the floor and basically do pour 15 along the whole floor, the whole bottom, and that'll fix up any of this, you know, the surface rust stuff, and just seal it up and make that good. Then I'll go back through with the seam sealer and basically all of these cracks and holes and everything, and then we'll be good underneath here, and I'll throw that other motor in. Okay, so here's the finished product of pour 15, you know, after I've painted it here, and it looks pretty good. So what I'll do, I've got a couple spots of the frame that I've got to touch up, basically weld up. There's a couple little spots. So when I'm done doing the frame, I think all I'll do with the frame is just spray it with something. Maybe some Duplicolor or something like that. Anyways, I'll just spray the whole frame down, and then this car's not really going to see rain at all, or you know, much moisture, so it'll be good for it. And if I have to touch it up every once in a while, no big deal. But anyways, yeah, there's the floors all painted up. So thanks for tagging along with that. I always get pretty covered in pour 15 no matter what, whenever I do it, but I really like the stuff. It flows out nice, as you can see. It leaves a nice coat underneath there. and it really gets really strong. So any of that, you know, they say to knock off all the flaky rust and get rid of it. Honestly, I don't bother. I just go right over top of it, and you know, once this all dries and hardens, basically I'll say in about a day, it'll get really nice and hard. It'll be rock hard. So next time I work on the car, I'll show you. But that's going to be it for this episode. The next one, I'll start putting the motor in. So I had to order motor mounts. I don't have the motor mounts for that Chevy to go into this car, because this is a Buick, but the frame's all the same. So I had to order Chevelle motor mounts. So I've got those coming. And so that'll be what ends up being next on this car. And I think the next video that you're going to see from me is probably going to be on the 51 Mercury. So smash that like button, hit the subscribe, follow along with us, notifications, all the good stuff. And thanks very much for tagging along. Really appreciate it.